All right, good morning, students. I am creating this video because I know that some of you got stuck with me the other day having to troubleshoot your Arduino software and how to download it. And so you also missed the circuit diagrams activity. And because of that, I just want to create a video so that you understand and know what to do. So first, the activity is here in our Google Classroom. And to find it, just go to our classwork and click on the circuit diagrams activity. Inside of the circuit diagrams activity, there's a link to information here, but there's also this question: what is a circuit diagram and what's the purpose? So what a circuit diagram is it's a way that electrical engineers communicate circuit designs. And so they use a group of symbols that represent each little electronic component that they are going to build into their circuit. So it's like a language for electrical engineers to effectively communicate circuit designs to each other and for them to be fabricated or manufactured. So when you respond to this question, you should be writing something like that. So I included a link here for you to work on creating your very first circuit diagram. And when you open it, this will not come up, but you want to click on the editor tab. And since I already have a circuit diagram in here, I'm going to click new. So today we are going to just create a very simple circuit. We're going to create a representation of, let me go back to our activity just for a second. We're going to create a representation of this circuit here. So let's see, it's taking a second to generate. Okay, very simple, right? It includes three components, you could say. You could say it includes a battery, and then it includes an LED. And even though these legs of the LED are built into the LED, they're considered to be wires, and they are what will make our circuit into a closed circuit. Circuits only work if they're closed. So if it's a closed loop, current can flow. If it's an open loop, meaning that it's not touching all the way around and it doesn't create a full circle, then it cannot flow. So when we're in our circuit diagrams app, we need to first just get those components. So we're going to need wire. We're going to need a battery. So you can try using the search function. Or you can just scroll down. So when I use the search function, I don't know, it seemed like it didn't like that. So I'm just going to grab a battery here. I just scrolled down, and then we're going to grab an LED. And so keep scrolling. Let's see, we've got to find something that says LED. This is diode. There's what's representing an LED. So see how the LED has a symbol that is a triangle with this little bar in front of it, and then it has those two arrows. And then the battery is a symbol that has a big line, a little line, a big line, and a little line. So those are the symbols that are always used for those type of devices. And then all of these other things that are listed over here are different electronic components and the symbols that represent them in a circuit diagram. So, okay, so now that we have these three things, I'm still carrying around this extra battery. I don't want to do that anymore, so I need to click out of that command. And now I just need to join these things together like they're joined together in the picture. And so I know that the diode has two legs, the LED, we could say, has two legs. Let's see here. And the legs are attached to, in this case, they're just going to be attached to the ends of the representation of the diode. And then they go and they go around the battery, and one goes on one side of the battery and the other one goes on the other side of the battery. Now we know, or you may not know, that LEDs are what's called a diode, and a diode essentially means that it allows current to flow only in one direction. So current is always going to flow from the high side to ground. And so in this case, on your battery, if you look, your battery has a plus side and then it has a minus side. The minus side isn't labeled, it's just that little bumpy side. And so the current is always going to flow from the plus side towards the bumpy side in this case, or towards ground is what we say. So the plus side of your battery is going to be the big side, and the minus side or the ground side of your battery is going to be the small side. So it's actually lined up correctly here. Let me see if I can select this. I need to use the select tool. Let me see if I can select my battery and just move it into place. Okay, so it looks like the way I'm drawing this here, do you see right here how the wire is not connected? I can see that there's a wire that's not connected. I've got to make sure that it is connected because we just described the fact that current only flows in a closed loop. So it's not a closed loop. So let's go ahead and do that. And then technically this would be a correct representation of our circuit. And now I want to talk to you about conventions. So whenever we make a circuit diagram, we are going to color code our wires. And the reason we're going to do that is because it's a good way of thinking about how the circuit works and understanding the circuit. And it will help us with our actual wiring as well. So every time you have a wire that's going to ground, it's going to remain black. And every time you have a wire that is coming from 5V, then you need to code it as red. So let me get rid of this accidental wire that I added here. I'm still learning this program myself, so bear with me. Okay. And then over here, we need to find the wires that are going to be on this left side here, going from 5V over to the LED, and I want those three wire pieces to be red. So that's the wrong one, so I'll change that one back to black. Let's see here, what's this one? Red. That's the right one. That one changed the color of this. And let me see if I can add. Yep, okay, there. That's exactly the circuit that represents, remember, we're designing the circuit that represents this battery, wire, LED, wire, back to the battery. So, okay, so for your documentation, I want you to put the picture of the circuit diagram that you have created into your Google site. And so to do that, we'll go back to the circuit diagram app. You click download PNG image, and it pops up right down here on your screen. Okay, so when you're in your Google site, you're going to go through the process of adding your documentation here, and we're going to add 2 pictures and 2 descriptions today, so you can use this template. Click plus, and we're going to select an image in this case. And then wait. Oh, select image. So, oh, no, wrong one. I did that wrong twice. Sorry. Click upload. Okay, there we go. So now there's your image. Okay, remember when you were creating your portfolio, you have to make sure that the information that is expected to be included is visible. So in this case, since your image is like a different shape, you need to drag your picture so that you can actually see the full image. I still have a little bit of it cut off down here, so I'm going to even drag it down a little bit more. Okay, so almost, let's see, more. All right, so that's okay with me, and I'm gonna call this circuit diagram. Okay, so in this description here, you need to write your definition of a circuit diagram. So today we learn to make circuit diagrams and what they are. I'll leave this definition to you. I want you to put it in your own words, and I want you to demonstrate that you understand what they are, so you can go back to the beginning of this Zoom if you need an additional explanation. Okay. Now, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to create a circuit picture. So I'll just put a placeholder here. Okay, and so if we go back to our activity that guides you through this, we're going to, let's see here, create something that looks like this. It's another way of representing the exact same circuit here. And to do that, I'm going to have you guys create an account in Tinkercad. So you're going to use your Drew Charter Schools email, and you're going to use a password that you can easily remember. Okay, so once you've done that, you'll see this screen. And today we're going to be working in circuits. So click over here, click circuits, and then click create a new circuit. Okay, so just like last time when we created the circuit diagram, we're going to need 3 major components, but this works a little bit differently. So we know we need an LED, and we're also going to need a coin battery. So you can just type in coin and it'll pop right up. To draw wires inside of this app, you just click and drag. And so I know I want my wire to connect to one leg, and then my other wire to connect to the other leg of the LED. And now the cool thing about this is you can simulate. Ooh, okay, so my LED, when I try to simulate, does light up, so that's the great news. Now, if your LED does not light up, it's because you have your positive connected to the short leg of the LED, and your GND selected or attached to the long leg of the LED. So switch the wires if it doesn't work. To switch the wires, the easiest thing I think to do is just go ahead and delete them. And then draw them again so that they're attached to the right leg. Mine was attached to the right leg already. Okay, so if we're using the same color convention, is green and green correct? Or should we change it to different colors? So the answer to that question is that we should change it to different colors. So the positive side, or the 5V, in this case it's actually technically a 3-volt battery, is going to be red. And the side, let's see here, that's actually not right. So I need to select this one and change this one to red. The one that comes from, when you hover over this terminal here, it will say positive. And then this one's going to be the one that's black. Okay, so we're going to include this in our Google site as well as our circuit picture. So a circuit picture actually shows kind of like picture representation of the electronic components that are in your circuit. So it's a little bit easier to get used to understanding a circuit picture than it is to get used to understanding a circuit diagram. So we'll be working with a little bit of both. A lot of times sources that you find on the internet will have a circuit picture, and so it's really helpful for people who are new at reading and trying to build circuits. So in this case, this doesn't have an export function for images, it just has a technical type of export. So just use your snipping tool. Click new, grab your snip. I am going to do Control-C because that's the fastest way to get it over into the Google site. I'm going to go back to my Google site, and here, when I click inside, I'm going to click Control-V. And so it didn't go right where I wanted it to go, but that's okay. So the easiest thing to do here is just drag it into place. Okay, so I have my circuit diagram and my circuit picture. So what is a circuit picture? I think we should give the context again. Today we also learned how to create a circuit picture. This is a way to communicate a circuit design that is easier to understand because each component is represented with a picture. Okay, so again, I'm going to leave you to finish your description over here. Remember that when you are finished with this entry, please click Published and then go to the Published page. And when you're submitting your published page, you go into the assignment and paste the link to your published page into Google Classroom. Awesome. I can't wait to see your entries. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in class.